So you come at it fresh and you're like, well, what do I do? First thing you're going to do, get yourself a chord, any chord you like. And that very first chord, you're going to think to yourself, well, does that quite match the feeling that I'm going for? This is a minor chord. I think it's B minor. And so, well, okay, my idea was something kind of a melancholy sort of feel, slightly sad, but not too sad, potentially. More of a dreamy feel. That's the kind of thing that I was thinking of. So that fits the mood, fine. And then maybe decide on a second chord. Ooh, perfect. Now, if the second chord or the first chord, any of the chords don't fit what you want or the mood that you've got in the mood of the idea that you came up with originally, just change it. So you don't like this sound, go to a major chord, G major. Okay, very happy sounding, great. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with the melancholy. So then you want to develop the rhythm and the tempo. This is going to be a slow song. So I get the kind of the beat. Maybe count it out in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it starts to set a mood. And then you start to sink in to the mood of the song, the atmosphere of it. And you might want to repeat this over and over again. But at some point you're going to have to tackle the melody. So just start off with one note, that's fine. Da. Do you like that note? If not, change it. Da. Now you could just stay on this one chord and just figure out the melody to this one chord as a drone. So you could go something like this. Da, 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 da. Then it's change, and we go back. And when you feel comfortable to add notes on the second chord, da, 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 change, da, 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 da. Then you want to start thinking about lyrics. So what is the mood and what is the story about? This is going to be about, say, isolation. I left you standing alone. You left me standing on my own. So the lyrics, I think, maybe that's the hard part for a lot of people. I think usually the melody is the hard part, but lyrics are difficult. I think a good approach is to come at the lyrics with the idea of being as concise as possible. Use ordinary language and keep it short. Again, this aren't rules. This is just some advice. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's your art. Do whatever you want. Don't let anyone ever tell you that there's a right or wrong way to do art, whether that's music, painting, anything. Do it the way you want to do it, and that's it. But if you want to, perhaps, if you're struggling to express yourself through your art, I think it's wise to cut down on the faff. So if you've got quite a complex emotion, like love or despair or something like that, you might tend to want to use long words to describe these complex things, but it's actually better to use short words and to use concise language, concise themes. So in my song here, I left you standing there. Now I don't quite remember what the melody was there, but the idea of leaving someone standing, you might not need to even explain what that means or where you left them standing, who you're talking to, but the words are short, it's ordinary language, and it gets across the idea that that this is a sad or melancholy situation. It's complex. Maybe there's things going on that you can't express, but we get the gist as the listener. We hear this and we're like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. It sounds a little bit different." So I think starting from that point of view will help you. So and then develop it as you like. There's many different ways to write lyrics, but that's my advice on that. So when it comes to the song structure, you can study music theory and you can study the way that other people write music. I think it's probably dominated by the way that music was written through the 60s and 50s, 60s, 70s for radio play and stuff like that. So you might have an intro, a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, etc. But it doesn't need to be like that at all. There's no reason, there's no rules to say it has to have any of those things in it. Quite often I'll write songs that don't have a chorus, or the whole thing is a chorus, maybe. It doesn't have to necessarily have words. You can write the melody. Record, if you're into recording, you might want to record the guitar, the chord structure. Record that first, and then play the with a guitar or with another instrument instead. Maybe you find that actually it works better coming out of an instrument than it does out of your mouth. Especially if you have trouble singing or anything like that, then I think try it with an instrument first. Write the melody with your guitar or your piano and listen to it, and you might feel actually that it's easier to do that. So experiment, but again, there's no right and wrong way to do that. If you do want to write a chorus, it usually, I guess it needs to be more of a, it needs to maybe shift up a gear, kind of change a bit from the verse, possibly a motif that repeats itself. But these are the sorts of things. Just listen to old music. Listen to 60s and 70s stuff and 80s stuff, and you'll get. I mean, even today, of course, a lot of songs have the same song structure. So just listen to music. That's the best study. Listen to it, and you can find those patterns. But it doesn't really matter. You could do da 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 dun 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 dun. We've gone to the major chords now, right? Dun, for the chorus, then back to the minor. Da, da, da. That usually is something that's nice, going from the minor or major, whatever it is, on the verse, and then switching out for the chorus. And that's pretty much it. That's just a basic overview of how to do it. There's way more stuff than that, which I will cover in other videos, but I think just get on your instrument and just try it. There's not really a right or wrong way. If you sing the melody and you sing it wrong, isn't the right word, but if you sing notes that you don't like, just keep practicing. In fact, if you have a means to record one instrument, play it back and then play over it, I think that's a really good way to practice it, because you can just keep playing and playing and playing until you find those magic notes, and it will eventually happen. Don't worry about the theory, just get on the instrument, play, and just have fun.